Hey guys, happy Friday. Gosh, I am having some major technical difficulties this morning. I can't go live on Insta because I usually go live from my phone on Instagram and then I go live from my computer, and I don't know what's going on. I can't connect to the internet, so I'm sorry, Instagram. But I'm here. If you guys are here, wave at me. Tell me you're here. I want to say good morning to you and thank you for being here. So today we're changing it. We're going to be, we're actually going to be calling this now Freedom Friday. And hi, Stephanie. What's up, you guys? Hi, Tanya. And the reason why I'm going to call it Freedom Friday, I'm going to rearrange because I literally I got to remove my computer and all that stuff. I wanted to call it Freedom Fridays because I think we're talking a lot about, everything when it comes to health and wellness. It's not just like we're talking about, fitness or workouts or all that stuff. So I really wanted to give it a bigger name. Okay. So let's get into this. So we're going to talk about protein powder today. We're going to talk about, what you should be taking, what kind of protein powder you should be having, if any at all, the different types, and dive in. Hi, Lynette. Good morning, you guys. So let's go for it. So first of all, I want to start by saying, honestly, my opinion is that you should be getting your protein from sources that are real food sources most of the time. Okay. Now, I will say, yeah, I get it. It's real life. Okay. And life gets busy and sometimes it's hard to always have that available. So I want to make sure I give you some ideas about protein powders that you can use that are going to help you reach your goals and when you're in a pinch. So please understand that my viewpoint is always to eat real food, but if you have to do something in a pinch and you don't have time, these are some other options for you. Okay, so let's talk about the big one that's out there that most people are very familiar with. There's whey protein powder. Okay, so everybody knows what whey protein is. It comes from milk, or most people know. It comes from a milk product. So number one thing is if you are somebody that gets super inflamed or has digestive issues around milk, which a lot of people do, then you want to avoid whey protein powder, okay, obviously. However, there are some protein powders that are dairy-based that are a little easier to digest, okay? So we're gonna talk about those too. First, we're gonna stick with whey. So whey protein powder is an interesting thing. It's very, very widespread and mainstream. And whey protein powder comes in two specific forms. There's the whey protein powder concentrate, and there's the whey protein powder isolate. Listen carefully, this is a very important distinction. The cheaper stuff you're gonna find at the big boxes is usually the concentrate, okay? Whey concentrate actually uses some of the byproducts from the filtering system of the milk and includes them in the whey protein powder. The whey isolate is going to remove the proteins out and get rid of a lot of the byproducts, so you're just getting a lot of the better stuff, okay? I'm not saying it's great, I'm saying it's better, okay? So whey protein isolate is definitely the protein that you want to be having if you're doing whey at all. So the concentrate is the cheaper, low quality stuff that really has a lot of byproducts and additives that's gonna really give you more inflammatory markers, which we don't want. And the isolate is going to be the better option because it's gonna give you all the amino acids that you're gonna need, but it's also going to kind of take out some of those additives, okay? The yucky stuff. All right, so when we're looking at whey protein powder, we're gonna wanna look for whey protein isolate. Now, there are a lot of organic brands out there that are amazing. Hi, Marty. Good morning. There's a lot of protein companies that do a great job with organic, grass-fed dairy product. There are some that are crappy, that are just downright nasty. So you've really got to do some due diligence. Good morning, Marty. I can't wait to see you in a couple days, baby. Anyhow, sorry, I'll get sidetracked. So you really want to make sure you're doing due diligence to understand the kind of quality of food you're putting into your body. The cheaper the protein, the more inflammatory it's going to be, all right? So there's two things that you want to think about when you're thinking about whey. When you're coming off of a fast, or if you're doing intermittent fasting at all, if you're doing, 16 hours, 14 hours, 18 hours a day, or even, 24-hour fast, you don't want inflammatory food in your body, okay? That's gonna increase those markers and it's really gonna do more damage than good. So when you're coming off a fast, I really recommend that when you fuel your body, you're not giving it a whey protein shake, Okay, that's not a good idea. So if you're used to waking up in the morning and, you know, off of a fast and maybe it's noon and you grab a quick whey protein shake, I really recommend you stop doing that. Stop doing that. Okay, the better option would be another form of dairy protein, which is casein protein, which we'll talk about in a second. But don't do that. Okay, don't come off of a fast with an inflammatory food. The next thing I want to caution you on with whey protein powder is the second reason why I wouldn't actually have you do a whey protein powder after a fast or when your body's really needing nutrients is because of this. Listen up. Whey has an insulin response. Did you guys hear me? Whey protein powder, even if it's on its own in a water container in a shaker cup, has an insulin response. So what does this mean? It means if you're just eating whey protein powder all day long, your insulin's going to spike, just like it does when you eat a carbohydrate. I'll tell you why. It has something in it called leucine. Leucine actually increases our body's ability to spike that insulin level. It's really good for when you're trying to build muscle after a gym workout because yes, we do need a little insulin. It helps grow muscle tissue after a workout. That's why I've recommended it before after a workout, and that's usually the only time I recommend it. But if you're just having whey protein powder as a meal replacement throughout the day, you're spiking your insulin all day long. You think you're doing something super healthy, but you're spiking your insulin all day long, which is going to cut off fat burning and put you into a zone where you're going to store fat. Nobody wants that. We don't want that. Okay, so let's dive into that a little bit more. So again, if you've gotten off of a hard workout like this morning, you know, I actually have not fasted this morning. I usually do, but I have not fasted this morning. I got off my workout. I did a really big workout this morning and I had a whey protein shake. Why? Because I could handle the insulin response. Plus, I'm really not trying to lose body fat, but I'm allowing my body to have receptors for that insulin response and building muscle because I did some deadlifting this morning, right? That's an appropriate time to have your whey protein isolate shake. It's not an appropriate time for you to have it as a meal replacement or after a fast. Got it? Everybody clear? Okay, so the only other option is if you really like your shakes and you're really big on, you know, that kind of thing, a really good option for you to kind of maybe push yourself into is a casein protein powder. Casein is a form of dairy protein and it's just a different way your body can digest. The difference with the whey protein and the casein protein is the whey protein digests at a very high rate. That's why it spikes your insulin again, okay? The casein has a slow digesting enzymes in it that actually pull the digestion out. So it keeps you fuller longer and it doesn't spike your insulin, okay? So a lot of times, you know, you might hear like in the past where a lot of like bodybuilders and people that were really like into that, and me included when I was on stages a lot doing bikini and fitness competitions, I would have casein protein at night because it actually kept all those amino acids in my system all night long so I could continue to build muscle tissue. Okay, so if you're somebody who wants to come off a fast and you really do want to have a shake, another option would be instead of the whey isolate, you would have the casein protein, CAESIN. Okay. So there's a lot of controversy around that. Me particularly, I believe in it. I don't think there's too much wrong with it. It is kind of, you know, sometimes it's harder for people to digest, but at the same time, it's always worked for me, and it is something that I've used. I've also used whey, but again, I had one this morning right after my workout, okay? I don't mind a little muscle. If I can build a little muscle after my deadlifts, right on. It's gonna keep my metabolism up. So I just wanted to make sure you guys were aware of the difference, okay? All right, let's move on. There's a few more we need to talk about, especially now in the marketplace with keto out there, so prevalent in our diet culture world, and also paleo. Let's talk about collagen. Okay, so we talked about whey, we've talked about casein, let's talk about collagen. This is the major difference. These are all animal-based proteins, right? So if you're vegan, these are all not for you. This is the difference here, you guys. Collagen is not muscle building. Collagen is not muscle building. Collagen is designed for muscle tissue repair, okay? So all the connective tissue and all the good little things inside of, you know, our ligaments and our joints, the tissues and all those things that connect everything together, that's what you need collagen for. I am a huge proponent of that. So you're never going to find me poo-pooing on collagen. I think everybody can use it. It's great for hair, skin, and nails, but it's most importantly for those joints and those connective tissues. It really keeps them at their healthiest. It's also a really good protein source to add for muscle soreness and repair. Okay, so not muscle building like whey and casein, but muscle tissue and connective tissue repair. So you want to think about it that way. So if you're having a trouble, if you're just getting started and maybe you're in a weight training program, in a fitness program, and you're sore a lot, you're like, I'm sore all the time. I can't sit down in the toilet. I get that. Believe me, I've been there. I might be there tomorrow after my deadlifts, but a collagen protein powder is a good thing to include. So you might want to do something like collagen in your in your coffee in the morning. My friend Katie, she puts it in her coffee and like her bulletproof coffee. You can do that with a little MCT oil and put the collagen, and that's a great way to have, kind of a morning breakfast almost. It has enough calories for that, or coconut oil. So the collagen's good for that. Does that make sense? Do you guys understand that, the difference? You guys getting that? I'm glad this is landing with you, Marty. Thank you. And when you guys give me thumbs up and hearts, it helps me understand that this is like landing with you and you're understanding. Otherwise, I'll go back and I'll slow down. So we've reviewed 3 so far. Excuse me. We're going to review the next one, which is my favorite one. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, you guys. Thank you. That makes me understand that it's working. Yay. Okay. So we've talked about the whey, we've talked about the casein, we've talked about collagen. Everybody understands the difference. Yes. Okay, cool. All right, let's move on. So next thing I want to talk about is my favorite. Pea protein powder. Pea protein powder. Okay, so this is so interesting because if you're vegan, if you're vegetarian, this is a great option for you. If you're not, this is a great option for you. So I recommend pea protein powder for people that are looking for meal replacements. My favorite is Arbonne. I use it. I recommend it to my clients. It's my favorite on the planet. I actually used it in my Fit Fuel bars. And if you guys are a follower of me, you know that my company Fit Fuel, when I made my protein bars, my cult following for coconut cookie, my cult following for coconut cookie that I made was from Arbonne pea protein powder. It was super expensive, and that's why my protein bars were expensive. But I like it because it's a really high quality. And I'm glad you like pea protein, yes, because pea protein powder is super easy to digest. It's slower digesting than whey. It does not have an insulin spike, you guys. As long as you're not mixing it with a bunch of gnarly stuff, like a bunch of insulin spiking things, then you're good to go. But pea protein powder with some almond milk and a blender with some almond butter, right on. Go, Marty. That's perfect. Great. I love it. That's money. Okay. So that's my suggestion to you. It's a go-to. You can use it after workouts it does help with muscle building because it is almost a complete protein. So what I mean by that is it's missing one, and you can basically get your complete protein by adding a tiny bit of hemp protein to your pea protein powder, and it all of a sudden becomes a complete protein, just like an animal product with all those amino acids that you need, all of them. Okay, so this is ideal. So my ideal shake protein powder meal replacement for you for not only muscle building, muscle repair, but also meal replacement because it's slow digesting and does not spike your insulin is pea protein powder. That's perfect. Marty, that's great. Marty's saying she likes, her kids like to have protein powder, the pea protein, almond butter, and spinach. Right on. Go for it. Good job, mama. Great for their brains, good healthy fat. Love it. Okay, so we know my favorite, I just said it, pea protein powder, but the difference that you might want to add, Marty, you might want to do this for your kids, is add a tiny little bit of hemp protein powder with it because hemp has the amino acid that is missing from the amino acid profile in the pea protein. You guys got that? Hi, Melissa. Hi, Jamie. So does that make sense, you guys? So if you're going to do your pea protein powder, I love it. It's my favorite. I recommend it to everyone. I use Arbonne. I think it's an amazing product because it tastes good. It's not chalky. And then add a little bit of the hemp, just so you can get your complete amino acid profile. Okay, then you're rocking out. You're good to go. You're solid. Okay, so does that make sense for you guys? My favorite, all hands down for muscle building, muscle repair, and meal replacements, absolutely pea protein. Okay, so let's move on. I want to touch on a few things. So now you kind of know the basics. Those are the four main ones. You know, there was a time in my life where I did use egg white protein powder. I totally disagree with that now with the new studies that are out on inflammation with egg whites. There's a lot of people that have an inflammatory reaction to the egg whites. So I really don't agree with that 100%. I used to use a product that had a lot of egg white protein in it. I'm not so much into that now after reading all the research, okay? Okay, so you said, Marty's asking a question. She's saying they like chia seeds, is hemp better? Okay, so the chia seeds don't include the same amino acid profile that the hemp does. So the hemp would be better, but if you put the chia seeds in there with the hemp, all the better, Marty, because the chia seeds, I mean, as long as they're soaked, okay, you have to soak your chia seeds because they're not digestible, easily digestible in our systems by modern humans because they don't pop. So once you soak them, they'll pop and they'll release those good fats and all the essential stuff that they need, the nutrients. So my suggestion is keep the seeds in there. That's great. Soak them first. Put them in there for the kids. You too. But add the hemp anyway. Okay. It's a great thing to add. Make sense? Okay. I hope that helps. Keep asking questions. I love it. Okay, so we're going off on the egg white. Don't do it. I'm kind of, I'm on the fence with it completely, but just to be on the safe side, it does have inflammatory markers. Okay, let's move on to the two things that I would highly recommend you stay away from that are really kind of popular on the market right now. So the three, I'll start with egg white protein powder, nix it. The next one I want you to stay away from, I know a lot of vegans go this way and vegetarians, rice flour. Okay, let's talk about this. I don't like gluten. Even if you don't have a gluten intolerance, I don't like gluten. Okay, so what I want to share with you is I know rice protein powder says it's gluten-free most of the time, but it can have a similar response in our modern digestive bodies, modern human bodies as gluten, because it has some cross kind of similarities that have been shown to cause the same type of inflammatory action like most grains do as gluten. So be really careful, okay? Be really careful with your rice. Good, Marty, I'm glad that landed for you. Awesome. You're doing great. That's awesome. You're so on track. Good to go. Don't do the rice protein powder. Do the hemp instead, you guys. So if you're a vegan, vegetarian, avoid the rice at all costs if you can. It's cheap. It doesn't have a great amino acid profile. It's not a complete protein. Instead, go with the pea hemp mix. And if you're like Marty, throw in the chia seeds for some added extra omega-3s for your brain and to fuel up your body. Okay, moving on. Next one I do not want you to do. So there's this big like keto paleo movement for animal or meat protein. Have you guys seen this? I mean, I can't even get my head wrapped around it. When I owned my gym, A2O Fitness, and I had a few trainers working for me at that time that were really into the animal protein powder. I just couldn't get my head wrapped around it. Like I just couldn't get my head wrapped around making a shake out of powdered meat. I mean, it makes me want to gag. So I'm sorry if it doesn't make you want to gag, but I'm going to give you some information that I think will help sway you so that you do not buy it ever again. Okay, good, Marty. I'm glad it's helpful. Do not buy animal protein, meat protein, beef protein, whatever that stuff is that they're selling on the market now. Please don't buy it. I'm going to tell you a fact. 90% of the stuff that you're going to buy on the market, there are some good ones. I think there's like 2 or 3 out there that are not doing this. Most of it is from byproducts. And I mean like hooves, parts of animals that are gnarly, ground up. And then they add processed aminos and add it into the mix to get the complete profile. So they're basically telling you that it's a complete animal protein with all of the amino acids. But the truth is they're using byproducts of an animal, grounding it up and putting it as powder. That's gnarly. Like nobody wants to eat that. Don't do that. Don't ever do that. Don't do that. So I'm sorry to burst your bubble about it. If a lot of people that are really into paleo go that way, it's a gnarly thing to put into your body. Highly recommend you don't take it and advise people not to take it. Okay, so hopefully that helps you guys. It looks like it's landing with you, so that makes me super happy. I'm sorry Instagram couldn't see this today because my whole internet system here, I'm actually on like my network right now is completely down. So I don't know what's up with my Wi-Fi. So sorry, Insta. I will be putting this video up on YouTube tomorrow or the next day. I think it's super important for people to understand the differences in protein. This is my opinion. Again, this is my opinion from my experience doing this for almost 15 years and training women. I'm going to tell you one more time. My favorite is, of course, pea with a little mix of hemp. So go out and get yourself some. I love Arbonne. I'll put a link here to where you can buy Arbonne if you want to. There's also a product out there called Sun Warrior that's good. I don't think it tastes as good. It's just my opinion. I want it to be yummy, and so if I'm going to be drinking my food, I want it to taste delicious, and so that's why I go to Arbonne, and it's worth it. It's gluten-free, it's all organic, it's non-GMO, and they don't test on animals, which I like, so it's all good with a lot of integrity. I used it in my own product that I manufactured for a long time, if that tells you anything. Okay, you guys, well, again, thank you for being here. I'm honored that you allow me to influence you and you respect me enough to come on and listen to what I have to say. It really means a lot to me. But again, I'm offering, I'm giving to give. If you have any questions for me, if you want to message me about any of this, I'm happy, more than happy to help. And if you felt that this was helpful for you and it could help other people, please share it. Let's be generous. Give. If people are out there and you know that this information can help them, share it. Like, that's what we're here to do. Invite them to the group. This is a great space to have nurturing support and to get good educated information. So please do that. It's important. And sometimes, you have to kind of show up and take a stand for people too. You're welcome, Diana. I'm so glad you're here. I go live on Instagram. I know you just started following me on Instagram too, usually every Friday, but I couldn't get my internet working, so it is what it is. Okay, happy Friday, you guys. And yeah, I will be back next week. It'll probably be at an earlier time. I'm gonna be in California doing more training next week, getting elevating myself, transforming, allowing myself to get educated and to get opened up and to lean in so that I can help support you in your transformation. So I'm going to do that next week. And then I'm going to be at Knott's Berry Farm with my family on Thursday and Friday. And so I'm going to be doing an early Fitness Friday. So I'm always showing up for you guys. I'm committed. So I will just change the time and I'll keep you posted on that. You're welcome, Lynette. It was so good to see you here, and you have a great weekend too. So I will let you know what the time will be live next Friday, but I will do it early before I go play with my family at Knott's Berry Farm. Okay, you guys, take care. Bye.